8 years of ceaseless efforts, 8 tiers of seeding, 8 years of throughput of ideas in the watermill of memory. The coexistence sprouts, the communicating path widen, people create, make innovations, get to know each other. We head backwards to the past in order to find those keys which accurately lead to the doors of the evolving future. Common efforts finally bloom. "22 months of activism and solidarity to the odyssey of the refugees. Since September of 2014, we have witnessed all kinds of transitions, all kinds of crises in Idomeni. All the appalling conditions of living and trafficking in the Balkan route, an audiovisual interactive exhibition which narrates the journey of the refugees from the war zones to Greece, to Idomeni, and finally their everyday life in Europe nowadays. Discovering the Balkan Peninsula. We form bridges of friendship and mutual understanding. We get to know each other better. Take my words and give me your hand, the poet says, 'cause the things that we share in common are innumerable. Tastes, scents, music, monuments, memories. Let us meet our neighborhood, our neighbors. Let us become fellow travelers. Let us remove the obstacle of our coexistence. Let us form presuppositions for mutual targets. Let us find our common bonds.' People reintroduce themselves. They root about old memories. They recall community customs, laugh, shed tears. Remember, they get in contact with the nature through cultural happenings. They highlight their cultural heritage. Cultural bridges between the inhabitants of rural and urban areas are set. They set up for a common goal by participating in a game where speed has no dominion. They unite by partaking in a Dionysian celebration where traditional music meets its contemporary forms. What is the factor that urges youngsters to study the language of their neighbors? What do they share in common with the youngsters of the neighboring countries? Do they have common targets and dreams? Let's form new highways as well as paths so that we can dream of a better future. Let us give space and step expression through vital participation to every young person. Let us overcome all the barriers that complicate mutual dreaming and understanding. A voyage to music, a theatrical voyage to history, an on-stage diachrony of the ancient Greek literature, from Herodotus and the Middle East to Plato, from Sophocles' Antigone to Euripides' Medea, from Middle East to Caucasus, from the mystery of the pyramids of Egypt to the Pythagorean philosophy of music, from the tractable encircling dances of the Asia Minor coasts to the martial clamours of Pontus. Memory used as a thread connecting the universal spirit of music with the timbres of the ethnic music. Olympiad of music and theatre. Night scenes, midnight wounds, attempts of discursive lust, lust or anguish. I exist. Do I coexist? Is there a soulmate wandering somewhere in the night? Is music a communication path or a retaining wall of solitude? A different perspective of the music events. Music feast, music inspiration. How can the doomed to isolation countryside revive and live on more human terms? How can dignity be regained? How can everyday life stop being a burden on the shoulders of the people? How can life become easier? Inhabitants of the villages remember their forgotten stories, their heritage, their music and their songs. The customs of the distal homelands revive. the participants, gaining the community sense, move onwards. Who will remove the chestnuts from the fire? The mountain of Pico, the chestnuts on the trees, the chestnuts on the ground, the chestnuts on the fire. How can financial crisis shape political beliefs? Are the fiery chestnuts only our case, or is it a case concerning people all over the world? An ancient traditional folklore theatre, a Dionysian custom of Pontus region that is still practiced by Pontian Greeks. My beloved Istanbul, Constantinople, a crossroad of intercultural coexistence. Association of Pontian University students of Thessaloniki, Idem, Maliye, Sanat, Folklore, Istanbul. Has Europe the right to talk about assimilation, while at the same time it bypasses the most essential parameter, which is participation? The first creative shelter of refugees in Greece and Europe, situated in a neuralgic area on the Balkan route in Idomeni. An endeavor of creative accommodation and co-management, embedded harmoniously in the local community, refugees, artists from Europe and Greece, before they request for asylum, they cooperate with students of 28 European universities to talk about the refugee issue through arts, so that we can rewrite the story of Idomeni and the journey of thousands of contemporary Ulysses from the war zones to Europe from the beginning. A story that only space-time will bring out its importance.